Hello guys, a warm welcome to all of you from Moses here. My name is Trupali and here's my colleague Mr. Ankit, and we are going to discuss about the things related to general skill migration for the Australia, particularly for a state sponsorship. So many of you guys watching the video will not be aware about the basic things that how a person can apply for a permanent residency in Australia. So here I am going to discuss the basic things for by which you can opt for a permanent residency in Australia. Basically, Australian permanent residency is a skill-based visa. So there are lists of the occupations. So according to your education and your employment, you will be choosing one. Australian government has specific standards like specific description and specific tasks according to each occupation. So you need to match at least 60 to 70% of the tasks to opt for that occupation. Once you choose the occupation for which you are eligible to apply for, there will be a first step to apply for the permanent residency will be a skills assessment. Each and every occupation has their own assessing authority to assess the profile, and they do have some criteria. So according to your occupation, there will be some criteria. So that assessing authority will get back to you with the outcome letter. You need to submit the required documents which they demand to do the skills assessment, and that outcome letter which they will provide that proves that you are qualified according to your occupation as per the Australian standards. So that will be a mandatory step to opt for a permanent residency process. So once you clear the skills assessment, then second step will be the EUI, stands for expression of interest, where the points calculations are made. According to your age, your education, your experience, your English score, if you have Australian study, if you are opting for a state or regional sponsorship, if you have any relatives, then according to that points are awarded. And minimum 60 points are required to apply to permanent residency. And based on your points and occupations availability in the occupations list, you can opt for the visa categories. Now there are three types of the visa categories. The one will be the surplus 189, which is the independent visa. For that, you require minimum 60 points of your own, and your occupation should be in a demand list of the Department of Immigration. If you can opt for that visa, you can stay in Australia wherever you want without any conditions, and there will be no state sponsorship come into the picture. But if your occupation is not listed into the demand list, or if your points are not sufficient enough to opt for subclass 189, there are two more categories for which you can apply for. That categories are subclass 190, which is a state nominated visa, and subclass 489, which is a regional provisional visa. For that you can apply for. According to subclass 190 and subclass 489, state will give you 5 or 10 points to fulfill the points requirement. Now there are some of the states in Australia who provides the sponsorship. According to the Department of Immigration's MLT assistant list, each and every state has their own demand list to provide the sponsorship. According to their demand, they are revising the list according to their demand twice in a year. So you need to see for which occupation you will be applying and in which state it is available. Each and every state has their own conditions or additional conditions, you can say, other than the assessing authority and Department of Immigration. They do have additional conditions like the applicant should be having a job offer letter, or applicant should be having this many bands in English. Then only they will provide this sponsorship, right? So here we are going to discuss for particularly Northern Territory state sponsorship. So Ankit, for which subclasses Northern Territory apply the state sponsorship?
The Northern Territory government participates basically in two subclasses. The first one is the 190 state nomination subclass, and the other one is the skilled regional provisional visa, that is the 489 subclass.
Okay. So basically they will be awarding points according to your category, 5 and 10 points, right?
Yes.
So Northern Territory also has their own demands. So if you can explain which occupations are in demand in Northern Territory?
At the moment, there are ITs, there are engineers, accounts. You could even say hospitality management.
Engineers and nurses.
And even to say nurses.
Yeah, so medical professions, IT engineers, accountants, these occupations are in demand in the Northern Territory at the moment according to the last update. But they must be having the additional conditions to provide this sponsorship, right?
Yeah,
so
that depends on occupation to occupation. Say if you choose an occupation of an IT, that occupation specifically requires an offer letter or a job offer letter.
Okay.
And in addition to that, there have been minimum requirements of IELTS, PT,
Okay. The English score.
the English score.
Okay. So according to the last update on the demand list, IT professional requires job offer letter, whereas nurses and engineers require 7 bands. So you need to select for which occupation you will be applying, and according to that we can guide you towards the same, that what is the particular conditions attached to it, right? So like I'll be applying for the Northern Territory sponsorship, like if my occupation is in their list. But what if my occupation is not in the Northern Territory list? So can I opt for the Northern Territory sponsorship?
Yes, you can, in briefly to say, but there are two types of list. One is the Northern Territory occupation list, and the other one is the combined list.
Okay.
Say, for example, if your occupation is not in the list, you could go for the combined list.
Okay.
But even there are certain conditions for that.
Okay.
You need to have your employment. You need to have good prospects of employment
Okay. In the Northern Territory.
to approach to the CSO list, the combined list, so called. Okay.
Okay, so if I want to access the combined list, which is the like whole list of the states, and my occupation is not in the empty list, and if I want to apply for a combined list, or if I want to access the combined list, I'll be providing a statement
Yeah.
which shows that my skills are required in Northern Territory employment. My
Your skills should meet the Northern Territory
yeah.
employers.
So other than that statement
Yeah.
by which I can prove that.
The other things are that you should have a job offer letter, as I previously said,
Okay.
and the other one is you should have a strong family connection or a family member staying over there.
Okay, so like if I have a job offer letter from the Northern Territory employer, I can access the combined list. Or if my family resides there in the Northern Territory, I can opt for the combined list. So these two categories are there. The one is Northern Territory list, the second one is a combined list. So according to my occupation and if I am fulfilling the criteria, I can opt for. Okay, so if the other guys providing sponsorship by free of charge, or they are charging something?
The Northern Territory government provides nomination free of cost.
Okay.
There's no cost for that.
Do I need to show funds for the same?
Yeah, funds are required.
Okay, so I need to show the funds, but that depends on the family side.
Family,
you need to
yeah.
show the funds. Okay. By what time I will get the sponsorship if I apply for?
Due to the complex nature of the applications received by the Northern Territory government, the government does not give a particular answer.
Okay.
Like
There is no time
yeah.
frame mentioned.
No time
Depends
frame
on the
mentioned,
number
yeah.
of applications they do have with them. It varies. Okay, so these are the things. Actually, temporarily, Northern Territory sponsorship is closed, and it is going to reopen it for the offshore applicants from 1st of July. But if you are an Australian graduate or Northern Territory graduate, the things might be different for you. So for more information, you can contact us. The contact informations are already available in the caption, or you can just call us at 07966826682. Or if you can just forward your resume to info@aussies.com. Our migration experts will surely help you to get the visa and will guide you for the same. Hope you all like this video. If you still have any queries, you can just drop a comment below. Like the video and share the things. And thank you.